Good morning. Parallax Football, Kenny Stabler 1973 season replay. Early this morning, I was able to play the Chargers game, and Kenny Stabler threw two TDs in that game, and we won 34-10, bringing our record to 9-2, and Stabler's undefeated run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 8 straight games. So after a four home games in a row, we are on the road to play the 1-10 Houston Oilers. Stabler, since Stabler's being named starter, we are undefeated and at 9-2, well on our way to being in the division champs, I hope. Oilers are 110 here, however, and they rate out pretty bad. They rate out a D, F, -1, and a D against the Raiders. Raiders rate out a C, D, +1, B, so their run game is fantastic. And in real life, the Raiders ran on these guys for 255 yards. However, I think if I remember right, Kenny Stabler in real life threw 3 interceptions, and the Raiders had 4 turnovers and won this game 17-9. I think that's right. But I do know the Raiders ran all over this Houston team, so I remember being surprised that it was only 17-9. The Raiders didn't really whoop them. And then I saw the turnovers and realized Kenny Stabler had a rough day against this secondary of Severson, Alexander, Charles, and Blayhook. What really kills Houston here outside of the Raiders being able to run the ball really well, this team only has a punt net against Atkinson. This punter versus Atkinson has a punt net of 32 yards. So every time Houston punts, it's a killer. The Raiders are going to have great field position all day. Okay. Also for this game, yesterday I did a video where I played the basic game, which meant you don't need the POA or the run after catch. Today, we're going to use the POA, static POA adjustment, and we're going to use a run after catch addition. But we're going to do the very first optional rule in here is play calling. You do not have to roll for either side. So I'm going to call offense for both teams, but I will not call defense at all. So the original rules, you do not have to adjust for defense in any way. That is an addition to give a lot more dynamism to the games and to the results. Also, it's good for head-to-head play. So play calling really, the defensive shifts are really for head-to-head play or when you want to get into the nitty-gritty of a full simulation. But again, as I said before, one of the things that I was determined to do with Parallax Football was any way you want to play it won't break it, right? If you want to use play calling, if you want to use defensive shifts, if you want to use POA and adding the catch, catch and run, all those things you can leave. You can use any piece you want. You can leave out any piece you want. It won't, or you can play it pretty much just off the tables. So today, technically, we're going to play it for the most part. I'll call the off runner pass. We're going to leave defense alone. And again, we will use the POA, static POA, and we will add the catch number for yards after catch, so to speak. All right. So it's that simple, and it shows again. My goal is to show how flexible Parallax Football can be, and no matter how you choose to play it, you can't do it wrong unless you give the Raiders their bonus, but don't. It wouldn't be fair to give the Raiders their POA bonus, but not use Houston's, or worse, punish Houston for theirs and not give the Raiders theirs. So if you're going to do whatever you choose to do, just be consistent. Now with play calling, you could call all your offenses and defenses for your team, and you could roll for the opponent for both sides. So again, those kind of things are true of any tabletop football game if you're trying to play solitaire. Okay, let's get to it. The Raiders have won the toss. They elected to receive. They are on the road here. Whoops, I wrote it down backwards though, didn't I? Well, I wrote this down backwards. It's actually at Houston. However, I've got the Raiders on the visiting side and Houston on the home side here, so we're good to go. But I just wrote this down backwards. So anyway, the Raiders at Houston, our first away game in about 5 weeks, and we got the coin toss. So we're technically here, and we will not attempt to return it for a touchdown. And we are going to run the ball again. The Raiders in real life ran the ball I think for 255 yards or something against this Houston team. And we are going to run the ball on the B chart with a +1. So 26 is going to be 4 + 1, 5 yards. Raiders first carry of the game, 5 yards. We're going to run the ball again. 23 is going to be a run for 2 more. 1, 2, 3rd and 3, and the Raiders will keep the ball on the ground with Smith. And 32 is going to be a run for 1 + 1, 2 yards. 1, 2. It is 4th. Oh, wait a second. We had 5, got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 4th and 1. The Raiders will have to punt as they cannot convert. Raiders punt on 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, and right there they can attempt to return this for a touchdown, and they will. Why not? And they do not. Okay, they have nothing to lose. They're 1-10. So Sid Gillum coached this Houston team, and for those who don't know, Sid Gillum was one of the greatest offensive minds of that generation, along with Don Coryell and Al Davis came out of those coaching staffs early, really early in the 60s. Al Davis was an offensive coordinator or wide receivers coach or something for the San Diego or the LA Chargers or something. I can't remember exactly, but all of those legends kind of came out of that Gillum system. So Gillum was no joke. This Houston team has great defensive players too. Bethea, Matuzak, Cowlings, Roberts, Severson. So this is not a bad team. Dan Pastorini in this game had a great game in this. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he didn't turn it over either. He was sacked 5 times in the real life game. Anyway, they had Burrow at wide receiver. So, all right, Raiders had to punt, and we're going to go to Houston. Houston runs the ball with a -1, so we have to be careful here. We will run though D charts with an adjustment of -1. They're going to hand the ball off for 2 yards. 1, 2, 2nd and 8. They're going to run the ball again. Again, back in the 70s, a lot of times you just pounded it, looked for an advantage on field position. 45 is going to be a run for 3 more. 1, 2, 3. It is 3rd and 5. And we're going to go ahead and run a 3rd time, trying to get something going. 26 is going to be a run for 4, -1, 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. 4th and 2. They will settle for a punt. The real life game here, the Raiders won 17-9. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2. Raiders filled it at the 36. I will not. I can, but I will choose not to return it for a touchdown. I will choose not to try to. All right, Raiders going to hand it off again to Davis. 51. It's going to be a run for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. 2nd down. The Raiders will run again with Hubbard. 52. 52 is going to be 4 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 3rd and 3. And the Raiders here, we're going to run again with Smith. And 62 is going to be a run for 5 in the 1st down. So there's where the Raiders are pounding the rock. 1st down. We've had 8 straight runs. Raiders going to go ahead and take one. Going to take a shot. We're going to pass the ball on the C charts. So again, you do not have to use defensive adjustments. Remember, the matchups reflect the quality of the defense. So the matchups create charts that reflect the defense anyway. So you can play directly off the whatever the charts are, right? Now, if you choose to play off the offensive charts only and ignore the defensive adjustments, then I would use some form of defense to reflect. It's more realistic if you account for the quality of your opponent's defense than to ignore these ratings. So you wouldn't want to ignore the defensive ratings and the matchups, but you could. You could even do that. But then you're not playing the Houston defense. You would just be playing an empty hole, which wouldn't reflect the Raiders or the Oilers. Okay, so here we go. The Raiders with the ball have just run for a 1st down. We're going to go ahead on 1st down, and we're going to pass the ball for the first time today on the C charts. We're going to look for Sinai down the field. 33. The Raiders will complete this, and we're looking at the D charts. So the Raiders complete this to Sinai down the field. 21, not good. He drops the ball. So Sinai drops it 2nd down. Raiders go back to the Marv Hubbard running the ball. 34 is going to be 4 yards. 3rd and 6. Raiders going to pass to Bob Moore, the tight end. And 14 is not going to get it done. 14, he drops back looking for Bob Moore. 14 is incomplete. And the Raiders going to have to punt, pinning them at the 8. They will not risk a return here. A muffed punt on the 8 would be a bad idea. So this will be called a coffin corner punt because we pinned them on the 8. And the Houston Oilers are hanging in there with the Raiders in the first quarter, a 1-10 team. Here we go. Houston's going to run the ball here. They don't want to mess up down here, so they're going to be as safe as they can. 32 is going to be a run for nowhere with a -1. Second down, they're going to run again. This will be Willis, 54. Willis bursts through for 4. 3rd and 6. Dan Pastorini has no choice. He's going to drop back to pass for the first time today. Looking at the D charts, he's looking for Burrow on the sideline. 33 is incomplete. 4th down, they will have to punt. First quarter comes to an end. 0-0. They'll punt. 10, 20, 31. 2 Raiders have it at the 44 of Houston. Remember, I talked about this before the game started. In a field position battle, the Raiders are going to win. As Gillum and company for the Oilers only punt a 32 net. So the Raiders could play field position all day, and they're going to generally start on this side of the 50. So that's a huge deal for the Raiders over the course of a season, certainly in this game. All right, and that's without me even trying to return it for a touchdown, which I could, but I'm going to choose not to. We don't want to turn it over. I don't want to squander a possession on a fumble punt right now. Okay. All right, the Raiders now with this incredible running game on a 44-yard. We're going to pound the rock with Davis. 34. 34 is going to be 4 yards for the Raiders. Down to the 40. We're getting into field goal range here for Blanda. We're going to pound the rock with Hubbard. 44 is going to be a 5-yard run for Hubbard. It is 3rd and 1. We are going to run the ball again with Davis on a pitch out. 32 is going to be a run for 1 and a first down. We just got it as Clarence Davis just got to the edge. We're going to pound the ball with Hubbard. 31 is nowhere. +1, though, for our point of attack adjustment. We're going to hand it off to Hubbard again. Off the left side, 45 is 6 yards. 5-6. 3rd down and 3. And we don't have a choice. We're going to go ahead and throw a short pass. We're going to throw a pass for looking for Bolitnikov for a quick, sure-handed catch. 13 is incomplete, and Severson breaks that up. It's 4th down. Blanda can make this as long as I don't roll a 6. Let me double check the kick chart. Make sure Blanda cannot miss this. 1-5. So again, if I don't roll a 6, we're good to go. And the Raiders are going to be on the board first. So Blanda with a 34-yard field goal, and the Raiders are up 3-0. Houston brings the ball out to the 25 with a chance to take it back to the house. And again, a 1-10 team with a pretty shoddy offense against this defense will try. They will not get it. All right, here we go. Dan Pastorini is going to throw the ball here on the D charts. Again, I don't have to worry about checking the defense. He's going to drop back and pass. 34 is going to be a completion. So Dan Pastorini finds Burrows. Looking at the F charts, he finds Burrows for 46. 12-yard total. 10, 11, 12. First down for Dan Pastorini. The Oilers are going to run the ball here. 43. It's going to be a run for 1 yard. 43. 1 yard. Second down. Dan Pastorini's going to drop back and pass, looking for Alston, the tight end. 62. 62 is going to be incomplete. 3rd down. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to pass here to Burrow. And 11 is going to be picked off. And it's picked off by our coverage unit. And that coverage unit is Tatum. Jack Tatum is going to pick. No, Warren's going to pick this off. So Pastorini with a coverage interception by Warren. And the Raiders return on the A charts. We want to roll low on this chart. I want to roll a 1. That almost scores us a touchdown. And the Raiders, 20 yards back. 10-20. So streaking down the sidelines after the interception is Warren. He's finally tripped up, and the Raiders have the ball back on a short field. 1st and at the 18. We're going to pound the rock with our great running game. We're going to run Smith. 61. Smith's going to rumble for 4. 2nd and 6. We're going to run left side. Marv Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard gets popped. It's going to be nowhere. Wait, +1 though for our point of attack. It's 3rd and 5. And we have to look for a Bolitnikov in the end zone. So here we go. Come on, can we complete a touchdown here, Stabler? Stabler drops back. 24 is complete on the very sidelines. Unbelievable. It is complete to Bolitnikov. Can Bolitnikov get us the first? 26 is a pass for 7 plus 2, 9 yards. Down to the 4-yard line. First and go. Bolitnikov tiptoes along the sidelines for that catch. And the Raiders now will pound the rock with Marv Hubbard. 44 is going to be a runner for touchdown Hubbard. So Hubbard with a 4-yard run TD. PAT's automatic for the Raiders. It is 10-0. Raiders score points off turnover. Houston brings it out to the 25. They have nothing to lose. Try to return it for a touchdown. They do not. And Dan Pastorini. In real life, the Raiders failed to intercept Pastorini. But here, Warren gets a pick, goes down the sideline, sets us up for a touchdown, and the Raiders are up 10-0 in the second quarter. Houston goes to work, and we're going to run the ball with Willis. 65, good run for Willis. That's going to be a 5-yard run. Second down, we're going to run Willis again. Big fullback for Houston. 21, nowhere, loss of 1. 3rd and 6, Dan Pastorini has no choice. He's got to put the ball in the air. And they're going to be throwing on the D chart. Remember, I'm using no defensive adjustments for this, right? This is like the basic game. It's all optional. Play calling's optional. Pastorini looking for Parks. 43, this might be complete. 43, it is. It's right in the middle of the field. So a quick slant to Parks. Can he convert? 34 is going to be 6 plus 1, 7 and a first, 5, 6, 7. He gets it by 1 on a quick in route or a slant route. Sid Gillum, again, with a very explosive offense in his history, known as one of the offensive geniuses of his era. And he spawned many great offensive coaches. All right, here we go. At the 36, first down. They're going to pass again. Play action, looking deep for Burrow. And 61 is not going to get it done. 61 is going to be incomplete. Second down. Oh, man, now I'm kind of putting him in a hole. That was a bad call. We're going to go ahead and run. 22, nowhere. 3rd and 10. Pastorini doesn't have a choice. He's got to put the ball in the air. And he will do so looking for Burrow again down the sideline. And it's caught, baby. And it is caught down the sideline. And here we go. What's the range? 54 is going to be a catch for 8 plus 1. 9 yards, not enough. 4th down and 1. They're going to go for it. Why not? They're at home. Wow, man, they're on their own 40. No, they better punt. 32. 10, 20, 31, 2. Yeah, that would be very dangerous there to go for it on your own 41. So there it is. The Raiders' final drive of the half. The Raiders going to run the ball. 31 is going to be a run for 1. Hubbard gets a rough carry off the left side, picks up 1. The Raiders run again. 13 is going to be a run for 1 more. Bam, damn, they are not dominating the line of scrimmage like I thought. Their backs, they're winning the point of attack, but they're not getting big runs from their backs as the linebackers are cleaning up for Houston. Houston's, for a team that was 1-11 at this stage, or 1-10, anyway, their defense was a C's across the board, which isn't bad. It's their offense that did not do well. And they obviously had, probably had injuries during the year. Generally in pro football, for a team to be really bad, some of it's going to be injuries, right? When you glance at a record, it's hard to say, but because pro football generally is so close, it's going to be coaching, or it's going to be a really, really bad quarterback, which is probably going to lead to a lot of turnovers, or you're going to be suffering injuries, which negatively impacts your squad over the course of a season. 3rd down, and the Raiders are looking long. We're going to just run the ball to punt in the half. 62, Hubbard gets the carry for 5 yards, and we will punt from there. 10, 20, 30, 40, and they're going to try their last chance at a punt return. You can obviously return a punt on my possession. They won't, and that's going to end the half. And the Raiders, 0. The Raiders are up 10-0 first half. All right, here we go. And again, you can see how quick the game goes when you eliminate some of the early calls. All right, Houston's going to get the ball to start the second half. They come out of the tunnel. Sid Gillum making adjustments, hoping that he can get something done. And that means we're going to be putting the ball in the air here. So he's going to try to take advantage as the Raider run defense has been pretty stifling. He draws back to pass. 32 is incomplete. Second down. We're going to run the ball on 2nd and long. Try to get some of it back. Nope, we're going to lose a yard. 3rd down and long. They got a pass. Looking for Burrows. 63, I believe, is a catch. This might not be. 63 is complete, literally to the sideline. So Burrows catches it on a quick out. Can he turn it upfield? He sure can. For a 13 and a first. 10, 11, 12, 13, out to the 37. Burrows catches a quick out and turns it upfield. And Sid Gillum told his guys in the tunnel, we're in this game, guys, let's go be aggressive. We're going to lose. Let's do it aggressive. He's going to pass again, looking for Alston, the tight end. Complete. So the tight end's going to make this catch for him. And 14 is going to be a catch for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. Quick button hook look in for the tight end. We're going to run the ball. 25 is going to be a decent run of 2 for Willis. 3rd down and 5. They're going to have to put the ball in the air. Raiders will, of course, be in the short zone. And Pastorini, 35 is complete. He finds Parks on a quick in route, and he turns it upfield for 11 and a first. 10-11 to the 47. And Dan Pastorini and the Houston Oilers are on the move. We're going to run the ball. Oh, long gate. No, 10 yards. Remember, this is what hurts the team on run D and F. Maximum run, 10 yards. But that's a 1st down for Willis, despite he was tripped up and Atkinson and Tatum clean up so he doesn't break away for a big run. Here we go. We're going to run again. Why not? It worked that time. 32 is going to be a run for nothing. 2nd down. 2nd and long. Pastorini's going to look for Burrows down the sideline. 54 is complete. And Pastorini on this drive is looking good. Can he get decent yardage here? 43 is going to be a 6-yard gain. 6, 3rd and 4. He's got to put it in the air again, looking for a back out of the backfield. His name is Gresham. So we're going to pass for Gresham. And it's going to be complete to out of the backfield. Pastorini hot on this drive. And 13, tell me it ain't so. He catches it for 2 yards. So he swings it out to Gresham. Gresham can't break a tackle against Irons, Corver, and Villapiano. Villapiano, fantastic Raider linebacker. They're going to kick a field goal, though, with a guy named Butler. Skip Butler. He is a B, so that's good. And from here, the 29-yarder, wow, he's just there. So if you don't roll a 6, and it's good. Look at this, Butler and the opening drive is, again, Gillum said we're going to open it up a little bit. We're going to push the Raiders. And that's a 36-yard field goal, and the Houston fans are on their feet. As it is 10-3, Raiders lead, but the Raiders get the ball out at the 27 to start. So Sid Gillum made some adjustments at halftime, told Dan Pastorini we're going to take advantage of them on the edges, and once they shade outside, we're going to take advantage in the middle of the field. And sure enough, they did. And here we go, Oakland with the ball. Raiders in the lead. They have the strength in every way. We're going to pound the rock. Be patient. Fumbled the ball away. You got to be kidding me. Hubbard. Fumble loss. This is how you lose a football game against a much worse team. Right there. Holy cow. The Houston fans that are here at 1-10. I don't know how many fans would be here, but the 22,000 fans that show up are on their feet roaring as the Raiders have just screwed the pooch. And we're going to take advantage and do a drop back bomb looking for Burrow and get a quick touchdown. It's complete. Let's see if Burrow can get a big play here. 42. He's going to make the catch for 5 yards, 2nd down. So Burrows makes a nice in cut. We're going to run the ball now. Ooh, 13. Loss of 1. Shite. 3rd and 6. We got to put the ball in the air. Dan Pastorini's been looking good this half. And it's going to be 22. Not good. Sack. Down he goes for a loss of 10. That's huge. That puts him into the 3rd tier. Who got that sack for the Raiders? Sistrunk. Sistrunk had 2 sacks last week against the Chargers. Sistrunk with a sack. Outstanding. That's his 3rd sack in a game and a half. So the Oilers would kick this from the 30. Now, that sack actually pushed them out here. So they miss on a 5 or a 6. Nope, it's good. You got to be kidding me. Butler bangs through a kick of 40 yards. And folks, it is 10-6. And the Raiders are letting the Oilers stick around here. Unbelievable. A Hubbard fumble sets up a Butler 40-yard field goal. And the Houston Oilers, starting the second or third quarter, look pretty formidable here at home as the Raiders are kind of asleep at the wheel, I think. All right, Raiders, we're going to hand the ball off to Smith now. In 13, they're going to get a yard. Man, Houston Oilers playing tough. Raiders going to hand it off to Hubbard. This time, Hubbard gets 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. 3rd and 6, we're going to have to pass the ball. Kenny Stabler's going to put the ball in the air looking for Biletnikoff. It's going to be complete, 44. And we're looking at the D charts. Come on, Biletnikoff. 44. Biletnikoff's going to catch the pass for 8 yards. 5, 6, 7, and 8. First down for the Raiders on 3rd and 4. They get 8. And the Raiders going to keep pounding the rock. Handing it off to Hubbard. 42. It's going to be 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. It's what the Raiders did in real life. They just ran the ball. We're going to run again with Hubbard. 16 is 3 more. 1, 2, 3. 3rd and 4. Raiders going to run it again with Smith. 35 for the Raiders. 35 is 3 plus 1. 4 yards. 4th and 1. Raiders up 10-6. We are going to pin them deep. 10, 20, 30, 40. We're going to pin them at the 12. They're going to try to return it for a touchdown. Why not? They do not. So we got a coffin corner punt. Houston takes over at their own 12, having stifled the Raiders in the second half. Okay, we're going to stick with our game plan, and we're going to open it up. We're going to let Dan Pastorini win or lose this game. Looking for Burrows. 41 is going to be incomplete. 2nd down. No, 41 is incomplete, sorry. All right, Raider. Pastorini going to look at drop back and pass again. 54 is going to be complete. He finds Alston, his tight end, in the middle of the field for 65. It's going to be a pass for 10 and a first down. Dan Pastorini, the fans roar. As Pastorini's on fire. We're going to run the ball. 25 is a 2-yard run. 1, 2, Willis. This is what happens when you're facing a -1. You got to open it up more whether you like it or not. We're going to pass again to Gresham out of the backfield. Uh-oh, sack, I think. Yep, down he goes for a loss of 5. 3rd down, and the Raiders sack. This one is Tom's. So the Raiders, in real life, the Raiders sacked Pastorini 5 times. He did not throw a pick in real life, but the Raiders got to him 5 times. However, today we've picked him off and sacked him twice. So, all right, Houston looking at a 3rd and long. We're going to pass. It's going to be complete. They need a big roll. No, not going to be good enough. 14 on F. It's a catch for 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. And that's unfortunate. It is punting time. They're going to have to punt. This will end the quarter. 10, 20, 31, 2. And remember, I said the Raiders in the punting situation are always going to have decent field position if we choose to pin them. And there it is, though. But Houston scores 6 unanswered points in the 3rd. It is 10-6. The real-life score of this game was 17-9. The Raiders won despite 4 turnovers. And again, it looks like the score here is pretty darn close. All right, Raiders have the ball. And let's see if we can get something going. We're going to run. There it is. That's what I've been looking for, the breakaway. So Hubbard on the first carry off the left side breaks loose and goes 64 for a touchdown. He's going to go 46 touchdown. Hubbard, that's what the Raiders were looking for. 46-yard run TD, extra point is good, and the Raiders now make it 17-6, which is very close to the real-life score. And again, the Raiders ran for 255 yards. That's a 46-yarder right there. We have kept the ball out of Stabler's hands. In real life, Stabler threw 3 picks in this game. I have avoided throwing interceptions. Oh, wow. So Houston has no option, no reason not to try the touchdown, and they don't get it. So Houston was doing so well. The fans heartbroken as they see Hubbard tear loose off that left side and rumble down the sidelines and into the end zone as the Oilers had too many men up close trying to stop the Raiders. Once he got free, he just outran everybody. All right, we're going to run the ball. 65, very nice. It's going to be a 5-yard run for Willis. 2nd and 5. We're going to pass the ball. Oh, no, dang it. Picked off by the linebacker. So the Raiders get Pastorini again. Villapiano, baby. So that's going to be Pastorini. Linebacker interception. Villapiano. That's huge. And what will he do? And we are an A linebacking unit, so we look at A for the return. So Villapiano for the Raiders takes it back. Oh, no, it's downfield. So he picks it off, and he drops into coverage. 10, 11, 12. So the Raiders have it at the 42. That could have been returned damn near. Not quite for a touchdown, but it could have been big. All right, the Raiders with their... they've just scored on a 46-yard run. Now they've picked off Pastorini on a second and long pass at the 42. And the Raiders are going to go back to what they do best. We're going to bring in Smith. We're going to pound the rock off the left side. Oh, breakaway Smith. This could be another touchdown. No, he breaks away for 11. 10-11, first down. But the Raiders get enough for the first. Damn. So Smith got a breakaway. We're going to run again. Davis. 51 is 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, right. By the way, the breakaway would have given me 1 more yard. Second down. Because Raiders add +1 every run now. Raiders going to run again. Marv Hubbard, 54, is going to be a run for 6 more. 5, 6. It is 3rd and 1. And the Raiders are going to plow ahead with Hubbard again. 24 is going to be a run for 3 and a first. 1, 2, 3. Right now, the Raider running game down here, it's all we have to do. We're not going to put the ball in the air. We're going to run Smith. 33. Smith's going to get the carry for 3. 1, 2, 3. Pounding the rock with that B running game. We're going to run Davis. Davis around the end. 55 is going to get 6 yards. 5, 6, 4, 3rd and 1. And we're going to run Hubbard up the gut. Hubbard's going to get a nice carry for 6 and a first down at the 3. 1st and goal. The Raiders dominating the line of scrimmage. We're going to run Smith. 23. Smith gets the carry for 2. 1, 2. Down to the 1. 2nd and goal. We're going to run Smith again behind Hubbard in that left side. Touchdown. Smith with a 1-yard run TD. PAT we know is good. It's 24-6. Points off turnover. The Raiders have found a way to stretch it out. And can Houston take this back to the house? Nope, they muffed the kick. Oh my God, they fumbled the kickoff. Double check my muff rules. You can't return a fumbled kick. I don't think I have any other special rules here. No, I don't. So they fumbled the kickoff going for the touchdown. And that's going to cost them big time. What is his name? That is Gresham. Gresham, fumble lost on the kickoff return. The Raiders take over right there. The wheels have come off in the 4th quarter of an interesting game. But the Raiders hold on. Their running game finally blows up. Like real life, if you have a good running game, you just keep running. You're bound to wear out the defense, but you're bound to rip off a big run. And when you're a decent running team, you can afford to be patient. And it led to Hubbard getting a big run. It led to Smith getting a 12-yard run. And then now they fumbled a kick return. The Raiders have scored 14 points in the 4th quarter, making it 24-6. They've just fumbled. The Raiders' final possession of the game. We got to make it good. And again, we're going to pound the rock. 22. 22 is going to be a run for 2. 1, 2. We're going to bring Smith in. Got to leave Smith in the game. We're going to run Smith again. 55 for Smith. It's going to be 6 yards. 5, 6, 3rd and 2. Hubbard's going to get the carry. And Hubbard's going to go for 25. It's 3 + 1, 4, and a first down for the Raiders down to the 13. And Houston cannot stop us. We're going to pitch it to Davis. 22, 2 yards. 1, 2. He tries to go to the corner. Gets drug out. We're going to hand it to Hubbard right up the gut off the butt of Jim Otto, one of the greatest centers in history. 64 is 7 yards, and that's going to put us at the 4, 3rd and 1. And we're going to run Smith right up the gut, and Smith's going to go for 3 and a first down. 1, 2, 3, down to the 1. 1st and goal at the 1. We're going to run Smith again, and it's a touchdown. Raiders, Smith dominating here. 1 yard, 1 yard TD dives in the 4th. PAT's good. It is 31-6. Houston. Kick return. Nope. They're at the 25. And they're going to go ahead and drive. Sid Gillum is going to go ahead and give his guys a chance to play ball. And Dan Pastorini's going to go to work. It's going to be 31. It's going to be in sack. Oh, my God. Loss of 4. And it's 2nd down and long. Who got that sack for the Raiders? Raiders in real life at 5. We got 3 today. 4 is Tom's again. second, and I'm not certain now they wouldn't just kneel down and kill this game at 31-6. Yeah, they're just going to kneel down, kill clock, end of game. Again, after being sacked, you're just going to eat clock here and wrap this up. The Raiders are going to get 21 points in the fourth. The Oilers managed nothing after scoring 6 in the third. So the Raiders are going to win this 31-6. In real life, the Raiders won 17-9. It was at one point 10-6. So there was a 17-6 score that was close to the real life. But then Pastorini threw that pick and gave us a short field, and then Grisham fumbled the kick return, gave us a short field. Smith got 2 cheap fourth quarter touchdowns. So it could have been a 17-6 game if they had just not turned it over twice in their own 20. Raiders win this. That makes the Raiders 10-2. Certainly better than their real life. At this point in the real season, the Raiders were 6-4 and 1. I think 7-4-1. The Raiders were 7-4-1 in real life at this point. They're 10-2 in my replay, and we're on a 9-game 9-game win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9-game win streak, and we win this one 31-6. So we won last week at home against the Chargers 34-10. We won this week 31-6, and right now the Raiders are coasting into the AFC West Championship. Coasting to the AFC West Championship ring, or banner. We have the Chiefs and the Broncos, and I hate to say it, but we should win those. The Broncos got a hell of a defense, though. And then we're going to be doing the replay of the playoffs, real life playoffs. Again, I'm not replaying the whole league, so I just go with what would have happened in real life. So if we were to win this division, I would go on and play the playoffs normally. And it looks as though we are going to hold on and win the division. Even if we lose these two, we'd be 10-4, which would still give us and we beat the Steelers, so it would give us the tiebreaker over the Steelers to have almost exactly what happened in real life, except for the right now 10-2. I hate to say it, I don't think I'm going to lose these 2 games, but we'll see. So Stabler, in real life, threw 3 interceptions in this game. Well, I managed to just run the rock and play smart football and let Pastorini make mistakes, and it led to us not having to throw the ball much at all. So Stabler, let's see. Did Stabler throw a touchdown? Stabler, Blanda, Pastorini, intercepted Hubbard, Butler, Smith, Pastorini. So no touchdowns. So Stabler did nothing in this game. No turnovers, no touchdowns. So right now, Stabler is quite a few touchdowns off of what he did in real life. However, he's doing pretty good for his first year as a starter. So we need to see him get some touchdowns against the Chiefs and the Broncos and see how close he gets to his real-life Pro Bowl numbers. But there it is, folks. That is game number 12 of the Ken Stabler 1973 season replay. We are 2.5 games better. Yeah, we're 2.5? We're 2.5 games better than the Raiders were at this point in real life. So not too bad. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.